We're going to shave down the thickness of this Les Paul. He wants it without any finish anyway, so it's just too thick, too D-shaped. We're going to create more of a C-shaped Strat style profile, I guess. So I'm going to take all the tuning pegs off so they don't get in the way, I guess. So I've labeled them all. And that's the first step in doing what we're going to do. The next step is just kind of checking to make sure that the neck is, you know, fairly straight. So with this notched straight edge and some lighting behind it, I can get a feel for how straight it is. We're not in a bad spot there. I've got the Les Paul all masked, and I've got some profiles too. So for instance, this would be the profile at the first fret. My Strat, I don't know if you can see from there anyway, from that angle, but my Strat, my Strat would have more of a C shape, and it is thinner. It's 0.810 at the first fret, while this one would be 0.850 at the first fret. But I've got these templates for the first and the 12th, wherever the 12th is, you know, to determine the difference between my Strat and this Les Paul, and he wants the Les Paul to be more Strat-like. So I've taken my measurements and I've got it masked, and now I'm just going to attempt to sand away at it. I'll start at this end and we'll see what happens. At least take the finish off at first and view it from this point on. I'll let you know how it goes. I've got a lot of I'm talking through a mask here. I've got a lot of it either scraped or sanded off, and my profile is starting to look like the Strat one. Oh, that's a 12 right there. So I'm starting to look more Strat-like here. It's still showing that I need to take more off of here and here, as I had been taking all along, so I'll continue with that. I hadn't taken too much off the ridge at first. You can still kind of see it's slightly darker, but just even in measuring the thickness now with the finish gone, it's quite a bit less. I'll let you know how it continues. That's 120 grit paper. My measurement of the Les Paul before I started sanding was 0.80 at the first fret, and my Strat is 850, and my Strat was 810. We'll see where it's at. It's at 828, 829. We're aiming for somewhere close to 0.810. Still a ways to go. I've now sanded it down close to where it should be with 120 grit paper. I will continue to sand with lighter grits and actually take some of this off later on, sand and blend that in. The profile of the Strat is perfect here at the first fret. You probably can't tell from that angle, but anyway, it is quite different than the Gibson profile. The Gibson would have more of a, I don't have them together quite right there, but the Gibson would have more of a D profile, while here we sanded away the shoulders a bit. The numbers of my Strat are 0.810 at the first fret. I've brought this down to 0.814, so just the thickness of a piece of paper, I guess. Still thicker there, so I will sand some more with lighter grit. But it's quite different than the 0.50 that it used to be. And 0.935 was the 7th fret, so now we're in the 864 range, and 0.978, and now 0.940. Now, we'll probably never get close to the 12th fret Strat thickness, because the 12th fret is right here, which is where this heel starts to turn. So it'll probably always be thicker on a Les Paul than it ever will be on a bolt-on neck. I guess I wanted to show you too. Basically, all the sanding was done with, I didn't want to go too aggressive. I have files and rasps and stuff. I didn't want to bother with those. Just basically a cabinet scraper and 120 grit paper is all I've really used along the way, and just kept measuring. So I probably could have gone a little faster with something else, but that has worked out just fine. Got most of the guitar neck perfectly Strat-like, I guess, and I've taken some of my masking tape away, and now I'm going to use these toll cut papers you can use to basically sand, finish, dry. You don't need any wet sanding, and you can see where you're going. So I'm going to try to just polish these areas of finish, because this will be oiled. So I'm going to polish these areas up that have scratches that we've tried to blend from the natural look to the, then painted look. And this guitar feels great. Anybody who likes a Strat neck will really quite like the feel of this neck now. And people who don't like finish will actually like the feel of this neck a lot too. So that's an 800 toll cut. This is a 1200 toll cut. I'm just going to keep sanding the finish, I guess, with it. And then I'll take it to the buffer. I think I'm going to oil it first, let the oil dry, then take it to the buffer. In that order. So I'll keep going with this, probably to 2,000 or more grit. And here's the tried and true oil that I'll use to finish the back of this neck. Basically just a matter of rubbing it in. Customer wants the neck to be just natural mahogany, so it'll be that. We will put another coat of this stuff after 24 hours, maybe even a third coat in the next 24 hours, not sure. I'm going to put 2 coats for certain, and then I'll take this to the buffing wheel to buff out the more satin area that you can see there that I used the toll cut papers on. Actually looks really nice. Really, really nice. it on the extra fine wheel. And now the finished product. With the paint parts buffed up. And that's the finished product.